Wait, we can't see the screen anymore.
No.
Like the presentation. Oh, wait. There we go.
Interest groups. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Okay. Basic info. Interest groups are any organization that actively seeks to influence public opinion. These groups can also be referred to as faction, pressure groups, special interest groups, and even lobbying groups. The whole point of these groups are to get their opinion through to the government in order to see change happen, although they only focus on policy issues directly affecting their interests. Change can happen through voicing our public opinion, and interest groups are a way to influence, demand it now. There can be many different types of interest groups. The majority of them have an economic drive behind them, meaning their purpose is to increase wage, make profit, provide jobs, or even protecting an occupation. Another common type is called a citizen group. Ultimately, these members participate because they believe it is worth fighting for. They do not have an economic purpose behind them, but they will fight for matters such as protecting the environment, pro-life, gun rights, and so on. No matter the standpoint, these people are demanding change through this interest group. For the most part, these are single issue interest groups, so they focus on just one defining issue.
Advantages. Interest groups are important because they allow citizens to express their feelings. This is a great way for the people to spread what they are saying and get more people behind what they are trying to improve, whether in the community or on a higher level like in the country. Interest groups also allow the people to get more involved in politics. This creates leadership roles. If someone would want to be a community leader, starting an interest group is a great start. Interest groups offer great potential to improve society. Disadvantages. A lot of interest groups choose to have one focus point. Some may not find this as a disadvantage, but this is a disadvantage because when a group focuses on one point, not all the members may agree with every single discussion that appears. This will create arguments and falling outs. Another negative would be that not all interest groups may carry themselves appropriately. If a group embarrasses themselves or acts recklessly, they are less likely to be listened to and dismissed.
Examples of interest groups. The Great Lakes Commission, which was established in 1955, ensures that the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River support a healthy environment. The organization works with its member states to develop plans to maintain a healthy environment, and it ensures the economic will continue to prosper. The Housing Assistance Council, its goal is to fund and build in the United States. The HAC works with organizations in rural communities to make sure that they all have necessary funding, technology that they need. The National League of Cities is represented in more than 218 million Americans and advocates for 19,000 cities and towns. The NCL is dedicated to helping city leaders build better communities. Examples of interest groups continued, modern day examples. The National Organization for Women, which was founded in 1966, is an American feminist organization that fights for things such as women's rights, reproductive justice, and even racial justice. This group is currently fighting for many of the social justice issues that our current country is facing at the moment.
Fun facts on interest groups. There are currently more than 100,000 different interest groups and associations. More than 2/3 of Americans belong to at least one specific interest group. Almost 7,000 groups are represented in Washington, D.C. alone. That's more than any other country. At least half, if not more, of the lobbyists in D.C. are women. 70% of the women, 70% of the groups based in Washington have been established since the 60s. 50% of the interest groups that participate in political activity represent business interests. Fun facts continued. Small interest groups have a much higher chance of being swallowed up by the larger groups. There are interest groups all over the world.
Okay, now we're going to do quiz questions. What are interest groups? What is the point of interest groups? What is the motive for most interest groups? Why do people participate in citizens groups? Why are interest groups important? Interest groups can only have an impact nationally, true or false? What could be considered a disadvantage for interest groups? The actions of one member of an interest group can affect the way their cause is viewed, true or false? What are 2 other names for interest groups? What are 3 examples of interest groups? The answers are: interest groups are any organization that actively tries to influence public opinion. The answer for question 2 is the point of interest groups is to get their opinion through to the government to get the change that they want. The answer to question 3 is most interest groups are driven by economy, for example, creating jobs, increasing wages, or making a profit. The answer to question 4 is they participate because they believe it is worth fighting for, like gun rights or being pro-life. The answer to question 5, these groups allow citizens to voice their opinions on certain topics. The answer to question 6 is false. Interest groups can fight for change on a local level as well as national. The answer to question 7 is the focus on a thing can be a disadvantage. If a group only focuses on one topic, they might overlook how it can affect other aspects of their cause. The answer to question 8 is true. If a member of a group acts inappropriately, people viewing the cause may not support it due to a member's inappropriate actions and vice versa. The answer to question 9 is interest groups can also be called factions and pressure groups. The answer to question 10 is National Organization for Women, Housing Assistance Council, National League of Cities, and the Great Lakes Commission.